All right, so in this video, I'm going to show you how I would run ads for a skincare brand on Facebook. So this is going to show you exactly how I would set up the Facebook ad structure. So the campaign, the ad set setup, the ad level, everything like that. And then I'm also going to give you some creative concepts to test. So if you're already running ads, you can just test these concepts to help you find a winner as quick as possible. So I'll actually show you how to set it up inside of your ad account and how I would personally run it myself as well. But in this video, I'm going to start with the concepts, show you the creatives that I'd test, because obviously the creative is the most important thing. So you want to get that right first. And then I'll show you how to actually build out the campaign and how you can do that with either an existing campaign or starting completely fresh. So yeah, let's just get straight into it. So this is how I would set up the campaign inside of Facebook. So I'll show you how to do this later on when we actually go into the ad account. But it's a very simple setup, and this is a setup that I use with pretty much every single account that I am running. So what you're going to do is you're going to have one CBO campaign, and then you're going to have a bunch of dynamic creative testing ad sets that I'll show you how to set up. But all of these ad sets are going to be primarily broad targeting, only using location targeting, and you can use a little bit of age targeting and gender targeting if it is specific for your skincare brand. So obviously, if you're a skincare brand, you might have more of a focus towards women, depending on the product, but most skincare brands probably sell to men and women. And you also have to remember that a lot of boyfriends and husbands and stuff will be buying the product for their girlfriends and wives. So you don't want to exclude them completely as well, because you have to remember that gifts are a thing. So yeah, that's really what I would set it up. I wouldn't use any interest targeting or retargeting. You're just going to set up a bunch of dynamic creative testing ad sets that are broad, and then you're going to separate them by ad concept. And I'm going to show you a few concepts that you can run in the next slide. You're not limited to only running 3 of these. It really just depends on your budget. So if you're spending, upwards of $500 a day, you can probably test even more DCTs at once. But if you're under that, I would say that, only be testing 2 or 3 DCT ad sets at once. And if you're starting completely fresh, then just pick a budget $100 a day, and then just create a bunch of concepts so that you can select them and put them into the ad sets that you're going to start with. So yeah, 3 is not a hard and fast limit, but it is what I would start with. I wouldn't do less than 3. Okay, so for skincare, the brands that I've noticed that seem to be doing the best and have the longest running ads that include the ones that I'm about to show you. So the first one is an us versus them. This one I really liked. It's a tallow sun balm ad. This one's been running for like 200 days or something like that, so it must be doing very well. The only thing that I would change about this when you make yours is that you have the generic product on the left and then you have your product on the right. I just think it looks better. I think most people read left to right anyway when they're looking at these type of ads. So I think it makes more sense to have the comparison product on the left and then your product as the solution on the right. I think it would drive more conversions. And I think if they split tested this, it would probably do a little bit better. The only thing that I would change about this is I wouldn't probably include as many dot points as they're including in this. It can be a little bit hard to read. This one is obviously still working really well because they've just been running them for so long. So obviously it does work, but if you're running yours, I would probably limit your dot points to 4, possibly even 3, and then just compare your product against a generic product like they've done here. So if you're running a moisturizer or something like that, you'd have generic moisturizer on the left-hand side, and then on the right, you'd have your product, and then obviously, make comparisons that are substantial. So carcinogenic is a pretty big claim for a normal sunscreen or whatever. So that definitely makes people want to stay away from that and use their sun balm product. So you want to create something similar for your product. I think this one over here does a really good job as well. This isn't exactly an us versus them, but rather a myths versus facts about a particular thing. So if you're running like a skincare product, like a moisturizer or something like that, you could have myths that sort of address the generic moisturizer market. So for example, you could put myths like, causes acne, irritation on the skin and that sort of thing. And then you can use in the facts, instead of just saying, it doesn't cause acne, you can say our product specifically is designed with XYZ chemicals so that it doesn't cause acne. So it is an us versus them, but you can frame it a little bit nicer as a myths versus facts. So you're not specifically calling out another product or something like that. But I think something like this would do really well. And I wouldn't change that much about this. I just have your headline at the top, myths versus facts, and then your X's and your ticks. This is completely fine. And then just replace with your brand colors would work very well. So this is one DCT ad set that I would create. I'd create a variation like this, a variation like this, and then another variation yourself that is a little bit different, but still an us versus them style ad. And then run that in your DCT, which again, I'll show you later. So problem versus solution. These ads I've just noticed have been running for a really long time as well, and they seem to be doing quite well for these brands in particular. So this is from Essentia. If you have this, you need this. You can play around with these headlines a little bit. You could just have like problem versus solution. And I would also play around with the things that you're going to put as like the negative sort of things that you don't want. So obviously here they've got open pores, acne, excess oil. These are things that people obviously don't want and people experience. And then they have, you need this, and it's their moisturizer right here. So I would definitely do this. I'd play around with different, problems. So maybe you make one that's all about acne. Maybe you make one that's a specific type of acne, and you really double down on, specific problems that your product is solving, and you can figure out exactly what works. So you could create 3 variations of this exact same ad, where it's someone with, some skin issues or rough skin, it's not very clear. And then you just change the dot points to create variations, and then you just have your product on the other side of that. And then you'll find out very quickly which variation works the best, because you're using different problems to irritate that and make people, agitated and want to fix their problem. This problems versus solution ad was running for actually a really long time as well, and I hadn't seen something specifically like this before, and so I thought I'd put this in. I really like this problems with the icons, so stubble and bumps, time-consuming upkeep, thick and fast hair regrowth, the solution, and then it just points to the product. And the product looks really good. They've obviously done like a nice product photography. A lot of skincare brands have these style images where it's just like a picture of the bottle and that sort of thing. So I think you can definitely use something like this for a skincare product. Again, for some type of moisturizer product, you could have, bumps, unclear skin, acne, and something else. And again, I would test the problems that you're running on the left-hand side to see which ones people respond to the most. Because if you're agitating problems that people are really struggling with and really care about, it's much more likely they're going to click on the ad to get your product as the solution if you framed it like that. So I think this style, just like split in half, can work really well. It's similar to this, but it doesn't use any photos. So I would split test, doing some with the icons and doing some with photos. Maybe if you don't have photos, you can just stick with these ones. But yeah, make sure your problems are actually, problems that people do have and they care about solving. I feel like the time-consuming upkeep one is a little bit weak. I think that they probably could have changed this to, like spending hours doing XYZ, framing it a little bit as like, exaggerating the problem and making it sound a lot worse, which would improve the chance that they're going to convince people to click. And then features ads. So these are really popular in skincare already. This is a Tiege Henley one that has been running for about a month now, and it really is simple to run. Like these ads you can make in like 5 minutes. It's super easy, and all you're going to do is just put your product in on a white background or a black background, or you could use some brand colors, some beige colors or whatever. And then just have the features and the benefits of your product pointing to it. So I called this page the features one, but it really is benefits. You want to talk about the benefits of your product rather than the features. So don't necessarily say that it has natural ingredients. Talk about how the natural ingredients reduce, inflammation or, anything to do with your skin, that the actual benefit rather than the feature. So you can see they've got eliminates blemishes, balances oily skin, easily incorporates into any Tiege Henley skincare routine. I don't like this one because it's kind of like pushing just their brand and other products. I would try and focus on just selling this product, but obviously they've tested this and they think it works, so it probably does. even skin tone, and minimizes enlarged pores. Again, I'm not sure if this one is that strong. I think you could probably change that to be more of a benefit rather than just, it makes your pores smaller, but they've obviously tested this and it works quite well. And yeah, you can use any amount of features. I would say a minimum of 3 benefits or features in these type of ads. But obviously they've gone with 5. So yeah, and switch up your headline as well. Use your product name. You could use a review style headline. So it's like, this changed my life, ? Or something like that. So change up the headline, change up the benefits, and run these as tests as well. And then this one I just like because it was pointing out the benefits, but just using numbers. I think that numbers are a really good pattern interrupt on a feed. So if you can show some sort of statistic about your moisturizer or skincare product that you can actually prove, then I think this can do really well. So 3.6x reduction crow's feet wrinkles, and then 2.9x improvement in skin smoothness. I don't know how they've got that. I guess they've got a clinical trial, but I don't know how you can measure skin smoothness. But obviously they've been able to do that, and this probably performs very well. If you can get a clinical trial going, that would be fantastic. But a lot of you probably can't. But you can just use these numbers anyway, like make numbers that are actually relevant. So 2x in skin hydration or something like that. Test that out and then have a photo of your product on the left or right. These sorts of ads do really well. And then as a bonus, these are just ones that you can try out because I saw these running and I thought I'll include them, but I didn't really have a concept to attach them to. Review style ads. The key to a review actually being effective though is it has to be very specific. So this ad, if you can see that they've found this product and it works for my 66-year-old skin. The name's Carol. I don't know if this review is real. I assume it is. But even if it wasn't, they've used a very specific age and they've used a name of someone who's obviously older. And this product is displayed. It's just a normal product photo, which you would already be able to use. So this ad would be very effective because it's very specific. So only a small amount of people will probably respond well to this. Older women, most likely. But this ad is going to do really well because it's very specific about the type of person that's helping. So if you're going to do review style ads, this is what I would test. And then I would just change the age and the name. So, my 20-year-old skin, and then have, a young person's name. And then, maybe you do a 40-year-old skin and you have another name or something like that as well. Very good way to test it, and obviously change up the review to be a review that corresponds with a real review. And then this is just a recent trend on Facebook ads. You might have seen that, but having a sticky note. So how I got rid of my acne, you have the product right there. You can even do ones where the product is lying flat on a bench and then you have multiple sticky notes stuck around it with like features and benefits and that sort of thing. These sticky note ads have just been taking off heaps recently. So I'll definitely recommend trying those out. But yeah, so now we're going to get into actually setting up the Facebook ad structure. Each of these concepts are going to go into their own ad set. I'm going to show you how you can set that up to ensure that you get the best result using dynamic creative. So we're in the Facebook ad account now. This is just a random ad account that I don't use. So I'm going to show you how I would build everything out inside of this campaign and exactly how your skincare brand ad campaign is actually going to look. So let's build that now. So we're obviously going to hit sales, continue. We're going to do manual sales campaign. I know a lot of people love these ASC campaigns, but if you're just starting out, or even if you're a bigger brand, I would stay away from running these until you've got your manual sales campaign dialed in, because if you can't get that dialed in, your ASC results will eventually fall off. And just stick with a manual sales campaign to start with. Okay, so we're going to we'll name this skincare, and we'll turn on a CB or CBO, and let's just do $500 per day as our budget. Meta's telling us that I can't spend $500 a day on a brand new ad account. Fair enough. All right, so first thing I would do is delete this ad. And this is where we're going to set up our DCT ad set tests. So let's just make sure our campaign is set up properly first. So websites, we're maximizing the number of conversions. select your pixel, and then choose the purchase event as your optimization event. This is never going to change, and you shouldn't be doing anything anyway. Scroll past all of this for now, and locations is going to be set to where you're selling. So if you're selling in the States, United States, obviously I'm in Australia, so we'll set our location there. And then you're going to leave Advantage Plus audience on. Same thing with Advantage Plus placements, don't change that. And then, so the setting that we need to turn on is dynamic creative. Now, what this is going to do is, rather than having multiple ads submitted inside of your ad set, what you're instead going to do is you're going to upload one ad, but inside of that one ad, you can actually upload multiple media assets. I'll show you how that actually looks once we have it set up. But so what you're going to do here is, if you were building out a new campaign, you would do exactly what I'm about to show you, which is duplicating the ad sets and then separating them by their concept. If you already have a campaign that's running, all I would do is, inside of a campaign that already is getting results, you just create a new ad set with a dynamic creative test. So this exact ad set setup, and then you're going to add the ads that you want to test to it and then launch it alongside the ad sets that are already getting good results. So what we're going to do is we're going to create an us versus them version. So this is one concept. We're going to have a features, and then we're going to duplicate, and we're also going to have a problem solution. So we've got our 3 ad sets. So these are our dynamic creative tests ready to go, ready to set up. These are how you're going to separate your ads. Now, in each of these, what you're going to do is you're going to come to create an ad, and we're going to create. So once you've created your ad and you've selected your Facebook page, now what you're going to do is you're going to click manual upload, you're going to click single image or video, and you're going to come down and you're going to see select images and select videos. Now this is going to look a little bit different to a non-dynamic creative ad set setup, but basically what it's going to allow you to do is upload multiple images into the one ad. So you can see this is only one ad, but when you click on select images, you'll be able to upload your 3 us versus them variations, and then you'll be able to select all of them inside of this ad. Now, I'm not going to select images because I don't have any media assets on this account, but once you've selected them, all of them will appear here as one dynamic creative test, which is exactly what we want, because we want to be able to test multiple ad images inside of one ad so that they actually share data and the data is combined to get the best result possible, rather than the ads competing for spend against each other. Now, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to do your primary text. I would do 2 primary texts, so split 2 different types that you've already tested. So I would select one piece of primary text that you know already works for your product, and then test a new variation as well that is a different style, a different structure, speaks to a different person. And then the same thing for your headline. Pick one that you know already works, or might be like free shipping over X amount, because you know that works. And then have another headline that maybe talks about the product, says, you know, fix your skin in 2 days or something like that. So you have your 2 headlines, your 2 primary texts, and then you put your URL in, and then obviously call to action, and then you hit publish. So what you're going to do is you're going to complete this for each ad set. So you're going to upload your us versus them into here. You're going to go into your problem solution, and you'll also create an ad. And then you'll also go into your features and you'll create an ad. And in each one, you're going to upload 3 media assets into the ad category. And then you're going to do your primary text, your headlines, your call to action, your website, and then you're going to publish them. And what you'll end up with is a campaign that looks like this. So you'll have one campaign with a budget of $500 a day. You'll have your ad sets that are separated not by targeting, but by your creative concept. And then in each ad set, you will have just one ad. And the one ad is going to contain at least 3 variations of that ad to test. Once you've got that, you can hit publish, submit your ads, and see exactly how they perform. The strategy for actually testing down the line is just going to be creating more ad sets. So if you find that an ad set doesn't get much spend, it doesn't get any results, you'll turn the ad set off, and then you can create another dynamic creative ad set and upload 3 new creatives. And you just repeat that cycle continuously to eventually grow your account so that you can increase spend and get better results. But yeah, that wraps it up. That's how I would set up ads for a skincare brand, from the creative to the actual campaign setup inside of Facebook. If you found this useful, DM me on Instagram and let me know. You can subscribe and like the video to show some support, and stick around for more videos like this, where I'm going to make some more videos on different niches and how I would run their ads. And if you want me to run your ads for you, you can shoot me a DM on Instagram. I'm pretty active on there, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So thanks for watching, and I hope you learned something.